Hi everyone, I am Aurele. I'm the creative lead here in the marketing department at Cloth and Paper. I've been with Cloth and Paper for about 2.5 years now, and I started out as the photographer and kind of worked my way up to lead a small team. So I help lead the other photographer videographer here, Becca. I help lead our photo editor, Gladys, our content creator, Isabel, our video editor, shout out to Kara, and a few other people here and there. So yeah, I've been here for a little bit. I really love our notebooks here. Like, our video today is going to be about notebooks and how much I really like them. Before I even worked here at all, I was never a planner per se, but I've always used notebooks every year, every day. Big fan of writing down all my thoughts, all my to-do lists. I'm a Virgo, so I feel like having something to do every day was really helpful. And my big notebooks are like a moleskin notebook, or honestly just a random notebook that I would pick up at the store. Usually they were unlined, undated, just a blank space to get started or do whatever with. I never divided them out. And sometimes I'd make my own notebook, book binding and stuff. When I got here, we've released some really great notebooks throughout the years, and I've become very attached to my little pile of notebooks. So I thought it'd be really nice just to kind of walk you through all of them. So my previous system, as I just mentioned, was just random notebooks that I would find at the store, unlined. It worked great for me at the time, but as I've taken on more responsibility at work, but also in my personal life, and I'm dedicated to trying to remember things more often or be a little bit more together, I've switched into using planners, and I do have a half letter system that I use for my personal life, but my work life has really expanded, and I use kind of all of these notebooks here to kind of help me keep track of all my tasks, projects, ideas, daily schedule, whatever it may be. So I'll go through it. This is actually a personal notebook. It's very small. It is CPPT. It's from the Ensemble collection, and I just really love the attention to detail on the little sleeve jacket, and in the orange, and in the orange tab as well. I think it is really well done. I love a perfect bound notebook stitched together. So this notebook for me contains all of my personal artistry and ideas and connections. So I have these little tabs here, and these are our sticker dividers, and I put little stickers on them. And for each section, I kind of wrote out on the page before where I'm a photographer professionally, but then also personally and creatively. So these are my ideas, sketches, and setups. The next section is for information, resources, applications, admin, and then the last section is more for my note-taking, feedback, critiques, miscellaneous stuff. And I've been using it pretty proactively just to kind of mark down all my ideas or methods that I've seen. I've been in the darkroom more recently, so I write down all my notes about the exposure times, the chemicals, the filters, and just all my test prints. And then back here is more things I find out along the way, or things I want to apply to or look into. And then back here is where I kind of write my notes on things I see. So it's application, feedback. I've been going to more art shows and writing down my thoughts about it, and more about what I gravitate towards in my personal practice. So I love this notebook to kind of catch everything that I am thinking about in one place. So this is kind of my dedicated artist notebook, and yeah, I just really love it. It's great. I can throw it around in any size bag that I have and just kind of take it on the go, and I love the portability of it and the design of it. It's not too flashy. So yeah, that's what I use there. Next up, I will show my commonplace notebook. This is the, I think some people refer to it as the 365 notebook because it's got 365 days. They're dailies, and it's a really great thick notebook. Again, we've got like the perfect bound saddle stitching, and I again put my little tabs on here. So I've got May, June, July from our sticker dividers, and that's been really great to help kind of divide out these sections since it's harder to put things within bound notebooks. And then on the cover, I've got a little piece from the May sub box, one of the journaling cards. I thought it just added a little bit of a nice touch. And I specifically moved into this notebook because I was using the dated weekly task spiral from the November box last year, and it was great for like a running list, but just kind of as my role has expanded and how many like projects and tasks I have to keep track of every week, it just wasn't holding everything I needed it to do every single day. So this has been a really great update. I've zoomed in a little bit for you guys, but in this notebook, I started in early May, basically the second we got this sub box in the office and employees could go pick up their boxes. I immediately opened it up and I just transferred all my immediate notes straight into here because I was like, I need to start using this like right now. And I think it's been really great. I've been figuring out like what methods have been working best for me. So here's kind of the first page where I really kind of started to hone in on it. So on the right side here, I have my schedule every day. At the bottom, I've been putting like tasks and checks that I have to watch over. And then the middle section I use for notes and projects. And then the final section is kind of miscellaneous stuff. Usually I like to keep my work and personal life very separate, but sometimes if I don't have my personal planner with me or I don't open it up, it leads to me like forgetting things, or you know, if I have to run somewhere right after work. This has been helping me, the little miscellaneous section, kind of connect and bridge that like getting off work and getting into my personal lifetime and just remembering, you know, small things that I have to do throughout the day. This upper left section I've been using just for kind of a running task list. Like I'll put repeating tasks there or things that kind of need my attention that day. And then the middle section, my eyes gravitate to this section every day when I open it up. So I use this for like big priority things or just things I really need to like touch that day. I label the bottom section, but I don't label the top section. And then at the very top, I put the date and I write any notes that are important. Like on this day, Isabel had off, so that was important for me to know. I was like, well, yeah, gotta write that down. So I'm just gonna kind of flip through and show you how it's been really holding all of these tasks. Here I started to use some stickers to kind of go along with my schedule. So if I have a meeting, I'll put a little sticker for a meeting down or like a note-taking sticker. Those showed up free in the break room, so I made sure to grab a couple. I've really been loving the mild liner pen, the Arrow stamp one. This has been such a saving grace. I think it is great for making like these headers, which is like where the arrow is pointing, and then I'll do subheaders of just the little dots. And for me, that's great to kind of know like where the main task is and then breaking it out into these subtasks every day. It's also very attention grabbing. You can see here, I've been using some page pins. These are brand new in our key holder collection. You know, if it's not sold out yet, I've really been loving these. The long ones kind of fit perfectly over the schedule. So on this day, I really needed to pay attention to my priorities. So I put a sticker there to kind of like separate that out. And then there were a few days where I was leaving a bit early from the office because I was picking up some classes and workshops on the weekends. So I was working on the weekends, which led me to getting off early on Fridays. And I just kind of doubled up some of these page pins just to kind of like visualize like, hey, you were not working during this time. So I think these have been a great addition to my daily planning. And we'll just keep going along. Another thing I use is this Kuretake clean color dot. It is just a simple dot pen, but I will use it to mark off tasks that are done, or if I finish parts of my schedule, I will mark that off. And it's a great kind of neutral pen. Doesn't get in the way of anything, but it's dark enough to show that like I've completed that task. And it also lets me know like what things I need to bring over to the next day. Like, you know, if I didn't look over those, I would bring them over to the next day here. It also lets me know like how much I was able to get done in a day, because I'm not able to complete all of my tasks in a day. I move a lot of tasks over because I have a lot of things to look over, and it just kind of helps me keep track of everything, to be honest. And then I use that same marker, but in the fluorescent yellow from the March sub-box to highlight the days that I write in. But yeah, these have been great. Putting in my work from home days, who's off, what day it is in the office, and just little stickers really to keep me on track. This is also a little sneak peek. I think some people might be intimidated by the undated section and having to, you know, write down every single day in there, but I will just sit down at the beginning of the week and just kind of write out the dates in advance so that I have everything like a week at a time pretty much. And it's really great to sit down once a week or every day, especially for work, and just kind of map out like, what am I doing today? What are my big tasks? What are my priorities? What is my schedule? Are there meetings? And I think having it every single day just kind of helps me keep in touch with my schedule and my tasks. And it's been a really great lifesaver on like not forgetting to do anything, not forgetting to check in with people, checking over smaller tasks that may need attention. This has really been able to hold every single task that I've needed to hold. And my favorite pen to be using in this is also from the March sub-box, but it's the Uni Signo pen, and it is a 0.5, just writes so smooth, and I love it. And that has been my day-to-daily, my commonplace notebook set. Next, I'll show you the ensemble notebook from the March sub-box. This was an A5 perfect bound saddle stitch notebook. It's got like the yellow accents, and then again I did the tabs. This was my first chance to use a perfect bound very kind of free-form notebook in a while. I feel like a lot of cloth and paper stuff offers like such a nice little soft amount of structure, like just the graph paper or the undated dailies with the small sections. And I do really like this. Like I do love structure a lot, but having just a blank notebook is really great too. So it was great to swap into this for a little bit. And I used the tabs to separate out work, tasks, and personal life. And I found that I was using up a lot of the work and task sections, and I thought this would kind of be a catch-all for me, but I wasn't using the personal very much, which is why I kind of moved into these other two notebooks. But this has been great at the start of the year for me, kind of in February. So I took a lot of notes in this thing. I had this highlighter and I thought it looked so good against the cream pages. Everything really stood out. I was able to kind of mark off the beginning and ends of meetings very easily. Yeah, drawing out some sketches and kind of organizing everything the way that I would want it to be organized. Just a lot of freeform ideas and thoughts within this notebook. I started doodling a little bit more after Emily's doodle notebook or doodle method video came out, and I was like, maybe it is okay to doodle. Just because my mind does need to be like, I don't know, kind of always going during a meeting. So doodling was a great way to do that. And then here I've got the task section. So this was basically like my expanded section from my weekly task spiral that dated planner. So I would write down like all my main tasks, and then this would kind of be my notes section per task. So a lot of like reviewing videos and providing edit notes, a lot of e-commerce edit notes, figuring out like notes and things from meetings, and thinking about like photos and what we wanted to do for that. So just kind of like a general like brain dump or task dump thing. It really let me get super specific with everything that needed to be done, task by task. This is a really great notebook. I don't have a strong reason for not using it anymore, other than the fact that we got another notebook in the May box, and I think I just wanted to switch to something a little bit more structured again, and kind of having like a fresh start after the first quarter. And so, you know, we get a new notebook. I'm like, oh, I really want to try it out. I was really loving all the orange and the arrows and like how it could connect there, and having a little bit more space for my work notebook just felt like a great opportunity. So, and I kind of use it the exact same way as I was using my ensemble notebook. It's just bigger, and it's just a little more structured with the graph grid, and you have your little topic section at the top. And I'm a really big note taker, whether it is a conversation, a meeting, a workshop I'm taking. I love to write everything down. There is that like mind to muscle connection of when you physically write things down, it helps you remember them better. So I've been really leaning into like writing down the important things so that it sticks out of my brain. And yeah, so I haven't used too much of this notebook because it's still a little new, but I've been loving the structure. So yeah, that's kind of like the main overview of everything that I've been using just to kind of like make sense of and document everything that needs to happen day to day for me realistically. It might not take like, 4 notebooks for you to do that. I just realized that for me, it does maybe take 3 to 4 notebooks, and they all have very specific purposes, and I use each one pretty much daily. And I think that's been really effective for me. And I started out as someone who really likes a checklist. I've always liked a task list, a to-do list. It has helped me just kind of like get things out of my brain and onto paper in like a way to visually keep track of everything. So I think having notebooks was a really easy transition into that, because it is essentially just a running task list or a checklist. I need more space to think, to sketch, and to process things, especially being in a more creative field. Having these unstructured, or not unstructured, but being in a more creative field or area, I just need a lot of space to think, sketch, and process things that come my way. And my notebooks are kind of a blend of all my notes, my ideas, visual inspiration, and I really like that it can kind of be flexible depending on what my day looks like, and it provides just enough structure to feel as if I don't need to make everything up on my own, but enough flexibility to, function the way that I really need it to function. So I would love to know how many notebooks you all have, you're using, how you're using your commonplace notebooks, if you use the ensemble notebooks, what pens you're using, organizational systems, and like if you're drawn to notebooks over planners maybe, or planners over notebooks. I just really love my setup personally. And like, this doesn't eliminate my need for a planner. I still have to plan out like my personal life kind of week by week and understand like when I have, you know, tasks within my personal life. But for my work life, this has been such a lifesaver to kind of separate out where I need things to go. I also think an underrated product has been this little saffron band, and it's been really great to just hold all my notebooks together. I love it when carrying everything like in a tote bag day to day, and I can put so much stuff in here, like it fits all 4 of these notebooks, or it can just fit on 2, or honestly personal books that I'm reading too and I just want to throw in my bag. So love this little accessory. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope this gave you a little bit of inspiration or kind of the confirmation that you can, you know, use things however you need to and however you want to, and that planning doesn't mean you have to be in a planner. It means that you can just find ways that work for you on getting your tasks done and getting things that you want to be done completed, and giving you the confidence to kind of start projects and to mind map, brain dump, whatever it may be, but to give you a place to start and finish everything you want to. So let me know if you are using a planner or notebooks, or if you use both. I'd love to hear about how people like organize their notebooks or what they use it for. And yeah, let us know like what you would love to see more of. Like, do you want to see more planner flat lays, behind the scenes, desk setups, planner setups? I'm all ears, we are all ears. And yeah, thank you for watching and being with me today. So subscribe, like it. We'll be coming out with a little bit more content like this in the future, and thank you. Bye.